Hello and welcome. I'd like to give you today a short reflection in line with the Feast of Candlemas, in which we celebrate Consecrated Life. In 1997, Pope St. John Paul II instituted a day of special prayer for men and women in consecrated life. This celebration is attached to the Feast of the Presentation of the Lord on February the 2nd. On this feast, we celebrate the mystery of consecration, the consecration of Christ and of Mary, and the consecration of all those who commit themselves to following Jesus for the sake of the kingdom of God. The feast is also known, as we know, Candlemas Day, the days on which the candles are blessed, symbolising Christ, who is the light of the world. So too, those in consecrated life are called to reflect the light of Jesus Christ to all peoples. In 2016, I was in Rome for the closing Mass of the year of Consecrated Life. Pope Francis, in his homily, reminded us that when one is totally in love with the Lord, then poverty, chastity, and obedience are not sacrifices, but vehicles of freedom. They become signs of hope. If consecrated life remains steadfast in the love of the Lord, it perceives beauty. It sees that poverty is not some colossal effort, but rather the higher freedom that God gives to us. It sees that chastity is not austere sterility, but the way to love without possessing. It sees obedience not as a discipline, but a victory over our own chaos in the way of perfection, in the imitation in the life of Christ. Religious are called to be signs of communion and unity in a world that seems to have lost its sense of unity. The religious stands as a prophetic sign of the supreme good and destiny that all will find in God alone, a reminder that in the world human life finds its finality in God. Being consecrated means being called by God to be united to Him as His bride. I first made this declaration as a consecrated virgin in 1994, and later as a religious sister in 2002. I later remember clearly the words of Bishop Crispian Hollis on the day of my final profession as a religious sister. I espouse you to Jesus Christ, as the ring was placed on my finger. Earlier, as I lay prostrate on the floor before Bishop Crispian, he asked me, "What do you seek?" And my reply was quite simply, God's mercy and yours. There was something quite special about handing myself over to the representative of Christ himself in a humble submission of will. It was a recognition that my life is not entirely mine, but that of Christ himself. My whole life is a complete handing over of my will to the one who created me, to do with me as he wills. Of course, this requires my cooperation and my fiat in a total self-gift. But just as it was required of Mary at the Annunciation, when she responded to the call to become the Mother of God, it's a reflection of the total self-gift of Christ himself to the Father in the work of redemption. This is best reflected in the hymn that I chose for both of these special moments in my life, which really sums up for me what consecrated life is all about. Take my life and let it be consecrated to thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. Take my hands and let them move at the impulse of thy love. Take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for thee. Take my voice, and let me sing always only for thy King. Take my lips, and let them be filled with messages from thee. Take my silver and my gold, not a mite would I withhold. Take my intellect, and use every power as you choose. Take my will and make it thine. It will be no longer mine. Take my heart, it is thine own. It shall be thy royal throne. Take my love, my Lord, I pour at your feet its treasure store. Take myself, and I will be ever only for thee. Thank you.